A Chinese swimmer has been accused of cheating after winning gold. Pan Zhanle won the 100-meter freestyle in record-breaking time. Now his rivals are casting doubt on his performance. Post reporter Paul McNamara joins us from Paris to walk us through the controversy and the day's other highlights. Paul, things got heated after the 100-meter freestyle finish, which was of course won by Chinese swimmer Pan Zhanle. Could you tell us more about why that win is being contested?
I can, yeah. There's been a big background to this. It began earlier this year when it was revealed that 23 Chinese swimmers had tested positive for a banned substance, trimetazidine, which is a heart medication which is said to improve endurance. They were allowed to go to the Tokyo Olympics. They were cleared by Chinese authorities and subsequently cleared by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, who were unable to get independent investigators to China at the time because of the COVID situation. It only came to light this year that had actually happened, that those Chinese swimmers had been cleared. It was never made public around the time of those Tokyo Games. So already there was a real cloud going into these games. 6 of those Chinese swimmers have come to Paris for these games. Pan is not one of them, but it feels like he's been tainted by association. And it's just a cloud of suspicion around the Chinese swimming team now. Pan had actually had a really poor games until the 100 freestyle semi-finals and final. In the final, he just blew the field away. He won by a full second, which is unheard of in 100-meter freestyle swimming. He swam 46.4 seconds, which took 0.4 of a second off his own world record. And immediately there were doubts being cast. One of them was by a coach who is Australian, but he's based in America, a guy called Brett Hawke, who said he thought Pan's swim was impossible. The conflicting voices are saying, well, there's a lot of other swimmers doing very well at this games, and nobody is asking for reasons behind their performances. The American swimmer who came second in Siobhan Hawke's 100 meters freestyle women's final actually swam her best time. She shaved more time off her personal best than Pan took off his. Siobhan's coach, Tom Rushton, was saying, well, nobody's looking at Tori Husk and saying, why is this girl swimming so quickly? They're saying, good for her because of the effort she's put in. So there's really 2 camps here, and the Chinese team certainly feel very wronged by what's happening. Zhang Wufei, who won a bronze in the 200 meters butterfly last night, spoke extensively in her press conference about everything that's happening and the fingers that are being pointed at the Chinese team. She said it's decidedly unfair. She said in the week before they went into the Olympic Village, Pan was tested non-stop. He's not tested positive, and that should be the end of the conversation. She also said there are going to be some people who are just going to doubt us whatever, and we're not going to be able to change their minds.
Speaking of Zhang Yufei, China's so-called butterfly queen, failing to defend her title, how tough was that swim?
Brutal event. It was a brutal swim, and she was against such tough opposition in that race. She afterwards actually said that she's never going to swim the 200 fly again. She's 26 now. And she says that event is just getting too tough and it's taking more out of her. But it's 3 bronzes in this games for Zhang. She's been suffering with a fever as well. And she looked unwell after the race last night and said that only about half an hour before last night's final was she able to start warming up for the race. So it was a really tough one for her, but she's come away with bronzes in the 100 butterfly, the 200 butterfly, and the 4x100 freestyle. So it's been a sound games, and it's one where she's had to spend a lot of her time answering questions about the drug issue. She was one of those who tested positive for trimetazidine ahead of Tokyo. So the spotlight's been on her, and she has said as well, her picture was used at the time in a lot of newspapers when reports emerged, and she said she's almost become the face of this situation, and it's been very hard for her to detach herself from it. So she's had to be mentally very robust and physically very robust. And she can look on those 3 bronze medals with a lot of pride, I think. And again, she's going to go away with some people pointing a finger at her and some people saying, well done, good for her. For those who are doubting her, she's probably not going to be able to change their minds.
Turning to table tennis now, and there's a lot of pressure on China's Fan Zhanle to win gold. How's he doing so far?
He's through to the semi-finals, and the pressure really did ramp up on him because Wang Chu-Kim, the Chinese #1, was surprisingly knocked out, and now Fan has got his semi-final today, and he's playing a French opponent. So if you go to that South Paris arena to watch table tennis, It's an incredible atmosphere in there. They make an absolute racket. It's 6,000 people in there. They feel like the crowd are really on top of the table. It's oppressive, claustrophobic, and that's what fans are going to have to deal with against the French opponent today. I imagine those 6,000 people are all going to be in their man's corner. Fan so far has not found it completely easy. He's not had things his own way, and he had a very difficult quarter-final. He recovered from being behind to win it 4-3 eventually. But you would think if he plays his best game, that will be enough to get him into the final.
Just one last one for you, Paul. Are there any other games we should look out for this weekend?
Absolutely. The tennis is particularly interesting. Wang Jinyu and Zhang Zhizhen are in the mixed doubles tennis final tonight. They've got to that final despite the fact that Wang became part of this mixed doubles team, despite after Zheng Qinwen, who was in the final of the women's competition, pulled out to concentrate on the singles. Zhang found himself scrambling around for a partner, and he was actually starting to look for flights back to Shanghai. He thought his mixed doubles tennis competition was over, but Wang stepped up. The pair have played together 3 times. That's all. They won all 3 matches. They are now in the final tonight against Thomas Machach and Katerina Siniakova. Machach is a former doubles partner of Zhang Zhizhen, which adds a little bit more intrigue to that final. But it's a chance for a first tennis gold for China. They've never won a gold in tennis at an Olympics. And then Zheng Qinwen will go for her gold medal in the women's singles final tomorrow. She plays Donna Vekic. And it's worth mentioning Zheng's win yesterday against Iga Swiatek was a win of her career for the 21-year-old Chinese. Swiatek was unbeaten in 25 matches at Roland Garros. She's the queen of the clay there. She's a 4 times French Open champion. She's won the past 3 championships. She was expected to beat Zheng, but Zheng was absolutely fantastic after 2 3-hour efforts to get to that semi-final. She then brushed past Iga Swiatek in 2 sets and has got herself into this final. And it's the first Chinese ever into a singles Olympic final.
Thank you, Paul. Check out scmp.com for the latest developments from our post correspondents in Paris.